Well, this one's going to stretch your brain a bit. So it starts with something we all experience.
Dreams.
Right, dreams, everyone has them.
But this source asks us to think about whether dreams are more than just our brains processing the day. Just random neural firings.
Okay.
What if they're glimpses into alternate dimensions, actual realities happening somewhere out there in the multiverse?
Whoa, hold on. So you're saying when I dreamt I was a lizard lawyer defending a velociraptor in court,
Uh-huh.
somewhere out there's a version of me actually living that reptilian legal life.
It's a wild thought, right? But that's the kind of mind-bending idea this source is playing with. And that example of the velociraptor in court, that's straight from the source material.
It makes you wonder if our minds are capable of tuning into these other realities somehow.
Yeah, it really makes you question what consciousness is all about.
Yeah.
But if we take this even further,
Okay.
the source asks if maybe these alternate dimensions aren't just random. What if they're intentionally created? And that's where simulation theory comes in.
Okay, so instead of just random universes splitting off endlessly, what if it's all designed? Like our reality is basically a super advanced video game, a simulation.
Precisely. And within that framework, the source suggests that things we experience, like deja vu, that feeling like I've been here before.
Yeah, I've definitely felt that.
Could be like glitches in the system. Almost like a programmer patching up a bug in the code.
So that feeling of I've been here before, it's not just my brain misfiring, it's the whole system hiccuping.
That's the idea the source is exploring.
That's wild. Almost makes you want to try and find more of those glitches. See if we can peek behind the curtain a little.
Well, the source actually uses this analogy of playing a Sims game. How you can zoom out and see the players controlling the world?
Yeah.
Maybe even messing with the settings?
I like to build those little houses.
Right, exactly. So imagine being able to do that with our reality.
Yeah.
To zoom out and see the players controlling our world.
It's a fun thought experiment for sure, but it makes you wonder about the players, The ones behind our simulated reality. Are they these benevolent creators watching over us like a science project? Are they more like, I don't know, bored interns with a lot of power at their fingertips?
Well, the source doesn't really speculate on their motives. It's more focused on how these strange phenomena we experience could be connected to this idea of a simulated world. And it doesn't stop there. It goes on to talk about out-of-body experiences.
Oh, right. I've always been fascinated by those. It's one thing to have a weird dream, but to actually feel like you're floating above your body, that's a whole other level of strange.
Absolutely. And the source suggests that these experiences might actually be glimpses of our player view, like seeing our avatar in the simulation from a third-person perspective.
Oh, wow. So instead of some mystical spiritual journey, it's like we're accidentally glitching out of first-person mode.
You got it. That's a pretty different way to think about out-of-body experiences, isn't it?
Definitely challenges how we usually think about it. But then the source gets even weirder. It brings up something that a lot of people find terrifying. Sleep paralysis demons.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I have to admit, this is where the source started to creep me out a little. I mean, the idea of waking up paralyzed, feeling like there's something menacing in the room, it's the stuff of nightmares.
I know what you mean. It's a genuinely unsettling experience. But instead of just looking at it from a psychological perspective, it's just our brains playing tricks on us.
Yeah. And those terrifying figures people see, are they just interns doing a routine checkup?
Think of them as just stressed-out programmers trying to keep the simulation running smoothly. Maybe their appearance is just a rendering error, a temporary glitch in their avatar.
That's both hilarious and kind of reassuring. It turns something scary into a quirky tech support issue. So far, we've got dreams as portals to other dimensions. Simulation theory suggesting we're living in a giant video game out-of-body experiences as glitches in the system, and sleep paralysis demons as cosmic IT support.
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
That's a lot to take in. It seems like this source is building this whole argument that all these seemingly unrelated phenomena are connected.
Right.
Like they're all pointing to something bigger at play. So are you saying these aren't just random quirks of our minds or bodies, but clues to the true nature of reality?
Well, let's see what else this source has to say. It does go on to discuss one more fascinating concept, lucid dreaming. And this is where things get really interesting, especially when you start thinking about simulation theory.
Okay, let's hear it.
Lucid dreaming, for anyone listening who might not be familiar with the term, it's the ability to become aware that you're dreaming while you're still in the dream.
Right.
And not just aware, but actually able to kind of take control,
Yeah.
direct the narrative, change the environment, even bend the rules of physics a bit.
It's like becoming the director of your own subconscious movie. So how does the source tie lucid dreaming into simulation theory?
Well, it proposes that lucid dreamers might be the ones who've, let's say, hacked the system.
Okay, I like where this is going.
If you think about it, if our reality is a simulation, then our dreams could be like accessing the source code, the underlying fabric of that simulated reality. And lucid dreamers, they're the ones who've learned to manipulate that code, to rewrite the rules of their dream world.
So instead of just passively experiencing whatever random scenarios our brains cook up, lucid dreamers are actively shaping their dream environment. That's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It really is. It makes you wonder how much potential human consciousness has. You know, are there abilities we haven't even begun to explore?
Right.
And if this simulation theory holds any weight, it begs the question, could these lucid dreamers be showing us a way to interact with the simulation on a deeper level?
You mean like finding a back door into the system? What if we could manipulate our waking reality the same way some people claim to manipulate their dreams?
The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing, right?
Absolutely mind-boggling. The source even has this funny anecdote about a lucid dreamer who encounters a sleep paralysis demon.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
But instead of being menacing, this demon turns out to be, get this, a frustrated programmer complaining about how difficult it is to maintain the simulation.
I love that. It takes something terrifying and turns it into this kind of relatable tech support issue.
Totally. So maybe those sleep paralysis entities aren't malevolent beings after all, just overworked programmers trying to keep everything running smoothly.
It's a funny thought, but it also raises some pretty big questions. If we are in a simulation, what's the purpose? What are the programmers hoping to achieve?
Are we a giant experiment? A form of entertainment? Or maybe, and this thought is a little unsettling, just a random project someone created out of boredom.
The source doesn't offer any easy answers, unfortunately, but it definitely encourages us to question everything, to really think critically about our reality and our place in it.
Right, because if our choices are all predetermined by code, do we really have free will? Or are we just playing out a script written by someone or something else? That's some heavy stuff to think about.
It definitely is. But I don't think the source's intention is to provide all the answers. It's more about sparking our curiosity and encouraging us to look at the world in new ways, with fresh eyes.
Like maybe those glitches, those strange experiences we talked about, they're invitations to look deeper, to question what we think we know about reality. It's almost like the programmers, if they exist, want us to figure it out. Like they've scattered these clues throughout our reality. These anomalies that don't quite fit with the conventional explanation.
Yeah, like a cosmic puzzle waiting to be solved.
So what does this all mean for us, the players in this potentially simulated game? What should we be doing differently now, knowing what we know? Should we be actively looking for those glitches, trying to communicate with the programmers, or even trying to break free from the simulation?
Those are some big questions.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think there's one right answer. But I do think this source challenges us to be more aware, more observant of the little ways in which our reality might be bending or breaking.
So pay attention to those moments that make you go, wait a minute, that shouldn't have happened.
Right, those synchronicities, those weird coincidences, those dreams that feel eerily real.
Exactly, because maybe, just maybe, those are the cracks in the matrix. The glimpses behind the curtain that can lead us to a deeper understanding of our existence.
And even if we never definitively prove or disprove this simulation theory, the very act of exploring these ideas can be incredibly enriching. It forces us to question our assumptions, or to stretch our imaginations, and to appreciate the beauty and complexity of the universe, simulated or not.
This has been a really thought-provoking deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, from dreams as portals to alternate dimensions to sleep paralysis demons as cosmic IT support. And while we may not have all the answers, I think we've gained a new appreciation for the mysteries that lie at the heart of our existence.
Definitely. And who knows? Maybe that's the whole point. To awaken our curiosity, to ignite our sense of wonder, and to inspire us to keep exploring the uncharted territories of consciousness and reality.
There's one final question from the source that I keep coming back to. If this is all a simulation, who's running the show? And what do they want?
It really is the ultimate question, isn't it? And just like everything else we've talked about today, Simulation Sleep Secrets doesn't really give us a straight answer, which I guess is part of the point, you know? It leaves us with that sense of mystery, the feeling that there's so much more out there that we just don't understand.
It's kind of like when you look up at the night sky. You see all those stars, and you realize how much we don't know about the universe.
Yeah, it's humbling, right? To think there might be these forces at play that are way beyond our comprehension.
Totally. So instead of worrying about whether we're just pawns in some cosmic game, maybe we should just focus on the journey, the excitement of exploring these mind-blowing possibilities.
I think that's a great way to look at it. And who knows? Maybe that's what the programmers, if they're even out there, want us to do. Maybe they created this simulated reality as a giant puzzle box.
A puzzle box. I like that analogy.
Filled with all these clues and anomalies that make us think outside the box. And maybe even push us to evolve our consciousness.
So our reality is basically a giant escape room with hidden levels and challenges to test our limits.
Some thought, right?
Totally. So maybe those glitches we've been talking about, those strange experiences that don't quite make sense, they're actually hints, nudges from the programmers, encouraging us to dig a little deeper.
It's possible. So what do we do with all this information? Do we try to hack the system like those lucid dreamers? Or just keep our eyes open for those cracks in the matrix, those little moments that suggest there's something more going on?
What do you think?
I think the most important thing is to stay curious. To be open to the idea that there's more to reality than what we see on the surface. Don't just dismiss those weird experiences or the questions they raise.
It's a reminder to be more present, more aware of those subtle moments when our reality seems to bend or break. Maybe those dreams, those deja vu moments, those strange coincidences. Maybe they're more than just random events.
Maybe they are messages, invitations to explore the deeper mysteries of our existence.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into simulation sleep secrets. We've covered so much, from dreams being portals to alternate dimensions to sleep paralysis, demons being cosmic IT support. And even though we might not have all the answers, I think we've gained a new appreciation for the mysteries of our existence.
Absolutely. And maybe that's the whole point, to awaken our curiosity, to make us wonder and to inspire us to keep exploring the unknown, the uncharted territories of consciousness and reality.
So to our listeners, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep an eye out for those glitches in the matrix. You never know what you might find. Until next time, keep diving deep.